me Sandy. It is an honor to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to come and speak. And I'm new in politics, but I have never seen, witnessed, experienced such a utter disregard for the people in the state of Wisconsin, for working families, for children, for seniors, for people with disabilities. And while they are cutting services and increasing taxes on poor working families, they're patting themselves on the back by saying, this is the most exciting budget I've ever seen. This is the best budget I've ever seen. And they're doing it at the same time they're taking votes to limit access to family care. At the same time they're taking away public transit. At the same time they are defunding education from early childhood on through grade school, through high school, to the technical colleges and the post-secondary schools. They are increasing the fees on the people who can least afford to have those fees increased. The cuts to shared revenue is another painful reminder of the utter disregard they have for local control and the will of the people in their communities. Scott Walker, Alberta Darling, my opponent in the upcoming race, and all the Republicans in the Assembly and the Senate are just marching lockstep, saying, yes, we're all for smaller government, less government control, but to them, smaller government means King Walker, and then he just gets to tell everyone else how it's done. That is not smaller government. That is not democracy, and we know what democracy looks like, and that is not what democracy looks like. Scott Walker introduced his budget on March 1st, and we have witnessed what Robin Voss and Alberta Darling have done with the budget. They had the chance to fix things. They are the most powerful committee chairs in our state, and they have been pretty silent on most aspects of it. They'll tweak a little thing when the pressure gets too hard, back off on senior care when we present them with hundreds of thousands of petitions saying save senior care. They have to be really pushed to the wall before they're doing anything, but they're still not doing the right things. The Joint Finance Committee is almost done, and they have just tweaked a few things in it, so there aren't many changes compared to what happened when Scott Walker introduced it. And again, it's mean-spirited. It is not growing jobs. It is not growing the economy. It is giving big tax breaks to corporations and wealthy, and doing it again on the backs of children, seniors, working-class families. They're cutting education. They're cutting health care. They're cutting transit. They're cutting all the things that are near and dear to our state. Before this election happened, I went around and tried to help a lot of my colleagues get reelected across the state. And I would go around and also talk to people about why it was really important that we kept the majority in the Assembly. And I would tell people how bad things could get if we didn't put up a roadblock. If Scott Walker happened to get elected governor, we knew what he could do to people. We had him in Milwaukee. We had a history with this man. And I would tell them, okay, this is what he'll do, and if he does it, we at least need to keep the Assembly, we need to keep the Senate, we need to keep those Democratic voices to put a roadblock, to do the checks and balances. And I would tell people what might happen if that didn't occur. My imagination didn't prepare me for what has been happening. The only bright side in the terrible nightmare that we've had since January is that people are now aware of what state government does, what it is, and how important it is to get involved. We kept saying when we had the demonstrations in Madison, they've awoken the sleeping giant, they've awoken the sleeping giant. Well, sleeping giant, we need to stay awake. We need to keep fighting. We need to take back the Senate, and I'm sorry, not this one. All right, we need to take back the Senate in July. Alberta Darling has been on TV and saying, you know what this is all about? It's not about my vote, it's about they just want to take back the Senate. Yes, we want to take back the Senate. We need to put a stop to what's happening. We need to put up a roadblock. We need checks and balances in our government. And I've been talking to a lot of people, some who have been traditionally to the right of me, and by the right of me I don't mean these gentlemen. I mean to the right of my political beliefs. And they're saying, I'm just so disappointed. I've always voted Republican. I've always considered myself a Republican, but there is a bully mentality going on that does not reflect the values of our state. The civil discourse is gone. The demonization of public employees is abhorrent, and that needs to stop. We need to come together as a state. We need to work together as a state. We need to pull ourselves out of the bad economy by creating jobs for working families, by allowing them to get to work, by educating our children, and by not neglecting the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. We need to make it strong. We are the economic engine that runs the state. We're going to put some fuel back into it. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all you do.